So in my 40-hour review video, the 1445, I was saying how my dislike for the front caster wheel here and how it was greased. So I decided to go ahead and I wanted to do some maintenance on it. So I went the 1445. I now had it for 60 hours, so it's got 2,060 hours on it now. And so I went ahead and went to the Deere dealer, bought some parts. Pretty interesting stuff. So what I've done is this one I haven't cleaned up yet, and then this caster over here I've already pulled out. And some of you have seen that I replaced the lift arms back here I put some new bushings on there. These bushings right here on this front caster are actually the same part number. So if we look at them here on my little bench, here's the bushings for the front caster arms, the same as the lift arms. So there's the part number right there, M83541. So that's interesting. So and then there's bushings in this wheel right here, and then here's my caster arm, and kind of shows I'm not real happy or thrilled. Not anything that I've done, but just, I mean, you expect that over 2,000 hours of use. This is actually worn right here and right here. So hopefully the new bushings help. And then also I've noticed there's 3 washers that go on there. You can kind of tell a used washer versus the new washer, so I'm replacing the washers as well. So just a little bit of maintenance. I'll once I get all the bushings replaced and get back on there, I'll show you. I'll compare the two sides so they're about equal. And you can see how that jumps back around like that. And then once I put the other side together, I will show you. Hopefully it's a little bit tighter. But yeah, so that's what we're up to today. Okay, so I've got this this side all done and everything. Much happier with the results. Obviously it's not perfect because, I mean, it still is a 2,000 hour part, but you can tell that there's a lot less play in there. A lot of that's coming from back in the connection points. Those are just going to be wobbly to begin with. But yeah, happy with the way it turned out. So tires spin, got those bearings cleaned up. I am working on getting these bushings out. This is what they look like. They've got a little space for the grease zerk, like you can see right there. So yeah, overall happy with the results so far. There's one of those skinny little washers. They've just worn out over time. You can actually see the indentation in that bushing right there if the camera will focus. So yeah, these parts need to be replaced. Not really all that excited about replacing the arms and these parts, the caster wheels themselves, because I think that assembly is a little between $200 or $300 each, so not cheap. But anyway, once I get it all done, I'll come back and show you progress. So got this is several hours later. Forgot to make a wrap-up video, but basically got all of the casters put back together, greased the deck, inspected the back gauge wheels back there, inspected those. I got to get a dust cap for one of them, tighten them up and everything. Much happier with the casters now. I did make one boneheaded move when I was installing these new bushings right here. I accidentally busted off the lip of one of them, so I actually have to take this caster back apart because I only had 4 bushings, so I actually had to reuse one of the old bushings. I took the best of the 4 that I beat out and used here, and then this week I'll go get another couple bushings and replace that to finish up the job. Shouldn't be that long. In fact, not that bad at all. Went ahead and tested it out. Actually put new blades on the deck. Decided that I needed 2 sets of blades because I got tired of switching out the blades all the time, and while I was sharpening the blades all the time, and because I put a good number of hours on this machine. And so by having 2 sets of blades, I can sharpen one at whenever I have a few spare minutes and leave one on here. I did notice that, let me get a flashlight here real quick. I did notice, if you can see back there, I've still got a little wobble in the main lift arms. Most of it's in the cast piece, so I may end up needing to do something there in the near future. Replace those back cast blocks that basically mount the frame to the transaxle. Not sure how the best approach that. I'll have to price everything out and see what comes up there. It's not an immediate need or anything, just something that I noticed. Also today, changed the engine oil, changed the transmission fluid, and I was just looking. I think I need to tighten a filter, looking under there. It's been sitting here for about an hour. And it may just be residual. I spilled a little bit on top. I thought I cleaned it all up, but I'll look into that. Found a couple other things that I need to attend to. Found out that I have back in here, I've got, see that line right there in the middle of the light? It's been rubbing on the transaxle, so it's got a small leak. It's not a pressurized line, so I'll just get some low pressure hydraulic hose later this week and replace that. It's only about 10 inches, so it's not a huge deal at all. Nowhere near bursting or anything like that, so not an immediate need. So yeah, what else do we do today? Replace the fluid in the rear axle. Did find out that this wheel right here, I'll probably tear into it at some point early next spring while we're waiting for the yard to dry out and the grass to start growing. It's got a little bit of play in the axle or in the bearing, so I had to pull that apart. It shouldn't be a too terrible big deal. The other drive wheel is fine, so not all that big a deal. Trying to think of what else we did. Changed the coolant, put some CoolGuard 2 in there. Interesting on the CoolGuard, reading the manual, that if you mix it yourself, 2,000 hour change intervals, but if you use the premix, you can go 3,000 hours. So I was pretty excited about that. So I shouldn't have to do I use the premix, so I shouldn't have to do a coolant change for quite a while. Until at least it has 5,000 hours on it. So yeah, today was a pretty productive day. Got lots of maintenance done on the 1445, so it can still be a good mower. And then after we got done with all that, looking under here one more time, look at the oil. I'll have to investigate that tomorrow. I've got to get a couple other parts. I've got a whole list of stuff that I need. But after we got done working on the 1445, we actually started working on the snowblower, which I'll go ahead and turn the camera off and then I'll show you that a little bit.